Anti-Afro Bengalis, I just could not help but bring up this comparison because this situation came to mind involving John Wayne Gacy and his sister. I don't know who caught the investigation discovery special on John Wayne Gacy. His sister was interviewed and other family members. It was a very interesting perspective. There's been a lot of coverage of John Wayne Gacy over the years. But there's something the sister said when she went to see him in jail after he was arrested. Because who is going to sit here and automatically believe their sibling is a serial killer who buried bodies under their house and throw them in rivers and shit? She's asking him, did you do this? I can't believe they're saying you did this. Did you do this? He goes around talking about, I've made mistakes. How do you make 33 mistakes? That's what the sister said. 33 mistakes? Not even saying, of course, oh, you kill one person, it's okay. No, 33 mistakes. That doesn't make any sense. Just like it doesn't make any sense when Dumpsey D.Derell says adversity. It doesn't make any sense characterizing what Dumpsey D.Derell did as a mistake, as a misstep. How is it a misstep? Just like John Wayne Gacy's crimes, Dumpsey D.Derell's crimes are the same in terms of calculated, deliberate, specific, knowingly, intentionally carrying out acts that they know. They knew it then, they know it now. Well, he's executed in 1994. Whatever the time travel is with him, he knew it all along. What he was doing was wrong, was no mistake. Come on, folks. They need to own up to what they did. These are not mistakes. These are calculated, intentional criminal acts. With criminal acts, there must be intent. If there's no intent, there's no criminal act. So him running around here acting like this is something that just happened to him. Adversity. Adversity is something that befalls you. Adversity is not something you create on your own. No one told Dumpsey D.Derell to steal from the government and to hijack clients' benefits. Dumpsey engaged in repeated acts. When the Texas Behavioral Health Executive Council, aka the board, the licensing board in Texas, nabbed Dumpsey D.Derell initially in 2020 is when they brought the complaint originally. He signed off on an agreement in March of 2021. So they nabbed him for thievery going back to 2015. After they caught him, he continued on. And let's pretend that he didn't continue on. Let's pretend that the feds are nabbing him only for 2015 to 2018, because there's two different time periods. Either way it goes, from 2015 to 2018, he continuously hijacked clients' identities to bill. He hijacked the colleagues' billing information. He submitted the claims for payment repeatedly. It says aggravated identity theft, 4 counts. Healthcare fraud, 5 counts. How is that a mistake? How is it a mistake when you log in to the computer, go to your account, and enter this information knowing you have not seen these clients? The client said they had not seen him. Why would they lie? They did not engage in those services repeatedly. These are not mistakes. Do not characterize repetitive, habitual criminal behavior as a mistake. It is not a mistake. It's not a one and done. And even then, that's deliberate. Adversity, mistake. And I'm going to have to correct that. Oh, that's the only thing that came even close to acknowledging that he could have done something wrong and trying to blame other people, trying to pass it off on other people. If he's trying to pass it off on other people, how can it be a mistake? If he's trying to pass it off onto other people, he's innocent. He's innocent, and he shouldn't have to talk about any kind of mistake. He's clearly unwilling to accept any degree of responsibility. And I also partner that with the conduct that he displayed towards so many in and around the Umar Johnson sector. The harassment, the abuse, the targeting, the paid targeting. That's a mistake too, where he continuously made false allegations, slandering people when he was angry because they wouldn't do what he said, when they wouldn't come back to his page. He made those songs that were vulgar and disgusting. And the rancor, the abuse, the degradation, the sexual harassment, just constantly sexualizing people in anger, men and women. That's a mistake too. When he's done it for 7 freaking years, you call that a mistake? No. All of Dumpsey D.Derell's behaviors are calculated, deliberate, purposeful, with the aim of achieving a goal that he has in his mind. He wants others to feel, obviously, how he feels. You can't be feeling good about yourself if you're leading a life of thievery and you have to come online day in and day out and talk about how other people are broken dusty. He was so focused on the broken dusty and the sexualizing others in anger. I mean, I think they all go together. Extremely dissatisfied with self. If he was satisfied with self, he wouldn't have to steal money and come online and act like he made it on his own. He was incredibly resentful to any and everybody making an honest living. Who the hell cares how the living is being made, just as long as it's honest? And he wasn't doing that. That's another source of envy. I'm sure he felt even more like shit, knowing he had to steal in order to get in a position that really didn't even exist. A fake position where he took it to the hilt with this Godfather title. The Godfather, if you came to a Godfather for money, that's the whole thing. Are they going to say, oh, I don't have it right now? He was the one who put himself under pressure, thinking he can solve everyone's problems, specific people who he thought would come under his domain and be slaves. So that's what he was expecting. Now, there are a few slaves still around who he was literally supporting with stolen money. He just thought about the here and the now. He never thought about the future. He really thought he was going to get away with it. But Medicaid started asking questions. And I'll tell you, about 10 years ago, I had several clients come and tell me that they were getting phone calls. It's called Medi-Cal here in California. That's the Medicaid program here in this state. And they were getting questions, people wanting them to do surveys. Some people actually spoke to the people, others got messages. And we were trying to figure out, like, is this a scam? So there were several people who didn't want to do the survey because they weren't sure. The person told them about the survey, but they said they didn't want to do it. So we're trying to figure out, is this somebody trying to hijack your benefits? I suggested that they call Medi-Cal and try to figure it out. But as you know, when you are calling a huge bureaucratic system, it's not so easy to get through to your worker. And then they got letters in the mail asking them questions. Among the questions, when was the last time you visited your therapist? Please be specific about your date and time of appointment. They were asking people these questions. I'm like, now you know it's official. So when the mailers came, we knew what was going on. They gave people an option to call in and do it electronically or speak to somebody. Well, it's coming from Medi-Cal, so you know it's legit. And if you're ever unsure, don't give information on the phone. I said, you did the right thing, but they have the information. They were asking questions. And then people were coming in and telling me that the insurance companies were asking them, when was the last time they had an appointment? Were they satisfied with services? What's the date of your last appointment? Was not a fleeting question. They are checking shit out because of fraud. But that's not something I would ever have to worry about. Because anytime someone says, when was your last appointment? It's going to be accurate. And they really must be trying to get something going here. Must be a lot of fraud going on. That's what I was thinking. But that's not something I'd ever have to worry about. But obviously, Dumpsey D.Derell did. He got caught up. There were far too many people saying they hadn't been to an appointment. Or it could be one of these people that said that they were ghosted twice. Okay, I was ghosted twice, but how the hell does my explanation of benefits say I went to 3 therapy sessions when I only went to 1? He got greedy. These are not mistakes. He knew exactly what he was doing. And they finally caught up to him. It was going to happen sooner or later, folks. We've arrived at that point, and he's going to have to answer to what he did. And don't even make any mistake about Dumpsey D.Derell actually taking this to a full-blown trial. Oh, please, people, you really believe that? He's going to try to strike a deal so he doesn't get prison time. That's what he's going to try to do. And it's going to be up to the prosecutor to decide whether they're going to drop that aggravated identity theft charge, 4 counts, because that carries a mandatory prison sentence. I'm going to talk more about that in another video. But for now, I wanted to make sure it is clear what Dumpsey D.Derell did was not a mistake any more than what John Gacy did. 33 mistakes. Right, sister? She called it out. These aren't mistakes. Calculated, deliberate, purposeful behaviors to acquire ill-gotten gains. So now it's time to pay up. You got the pay out, so now you got to pay up. And of course, I got more coming your way in the meantime. Buyer beware.